Hey guys, it is Carly here bringing you day number 3 of my 31 days of horror, and we are moving along here with a DVD that I recently picked up at a Goodwill, and that is Soul Survivors from the year 2001. This is a movie I did not see growing up. It is obviously one of those Scream era films, and I always would see it everywhere in stores and whatnot, but I just never really thought to pick it up just because it's got that typical Scream poster art and just never really appealed to me. I just figured it would be very generic and another basic teen type of movie from that time period. So I always kind of passed it up, but I decided to grab it the other day at Goodwill because there really wasn't many options. And yeah, Soul Survivors. So this movie follows this girl. It's not Eliza Dushku. It makes it look like she's going to be the main character, obviously, based on the cover. But you're actually following this blonde chick here in the corner. She gets into a car accident with her friends, and everyone else is okay, but her boyfriend ends up dying. And the car consists of her friend, who is Eliza Dushku, I don't know how to say her name, that character is in the car, and then her ex-boyfriend, and like I said, they all survive except for her boyfriend, and then her herself actually suffers a brain hemorrhage, which causes her to later on experience some crazy visions and hallucinations, and throughout the movie you don't really know what's real, what's fake, who's alive, who's dead, what's really going on. So that is kind of how the movie is, just following this girl as she goes through life and struggles with these mental issues that she has been left to deal with from this car accident, as well as feelings of guilt for killing her boyfriend. So yeah, this movie, going into it, I didn't really know what it was about. I didn't know anything about the plot or what to expect. I was expecting another film like I Know What You Did Last Summer or Urban Legend, and I believe, yeah, it says this is actually even from the producers of those films, and it's obviously marketed as such, and the movie's really not exactly like that though at all. It's more of a psychological thriller. That's kind of the vibe that you get from it throughout, and it actually really reminds me of the movie Jacob's Ladder, but if Jacob's Ladder was a teen movie from the late 90s, early 2000s, because that is what you are kind of getting here, and for me personally, it really just does not work that well. The film was just a little too convoluted, and it's one of those movies where you don't really know what's going on. Like I said, you don't know what's real and what's not, what's all in her head, or certain aspects to it, you're not really sure what's going on until the ending, of course, where it all wraps up. And sometimes that works for me, like in Jacob's Ladder's case, that really did work. I think that movie's amazing, and in this movie's case, it just feels kind of like it's almost like a ripoff of that type of film, and like I said, it's trying to be more of a teen version. I believe this movie is only rated PG-13 as well, but yeah, I just really did not care for the story too much at all. It's like I didn't really know what was going on, and I didn't care as much as I would with other films, and that was kind of the main problem. I didn't really love the characters you're dealing with in this film, especially because, like I said, it's more centered towards the teen audience, and you're dealing with relationship issues throughout the movie, and jealousy, and girl fights, and stuff like that, and it just didn't really appeal to me too much. You have actors in this movie such as Luke Wilson and even Eliza. Like, I don't really care for those actors or actress or anything like that too much. Luke Wilson, I feel like he's literally the same guy in every single role he plays. He looks the same and just acts the same, and I've just never really loved him. I could deal with him in certain movies, like I do like the movie Vacancy, but him as a person I just don't really like, so that kind of takes me out of the film. And yeah, overall, I mean, I will say, like, it was a little bit entertaining, and you are sort of wondering what is going on, but in general, it's not one that I would really run back to. I find with a lot of these films from the early 2000s, late 90s, that I did not see when I was a kid, I am not caring for too much now as an adult. Probably if I would have seen this when I was younger, I would probably enjoy it more to this day for nostalgia purposes, like I do with I Know What You Did Last Summer and Urban Legend and those big ones. But yeah, for this, it really just did not do it for me. And the ending, I wasn't a huge fan of how it all wrapped up either. So yeah, for this movie, it wasn't horrible. Like I said, the acting's okay, and if you're into these teen stories, it's okay. I gave it a 6 out of 10, so a little above average, but not something that I personally would go back to. So that is Soul Survivors, guys. Thank you once again for joining me for day number 3 of my 31 days of horror, and I will see you for day number 4.